Welcome to the CHOW Podcast, hosted by Animal Friends of Wyoming County, where our mission is to help care for animals held by the Wyoming County Animal Shelter and promote responsible pet care in Wyoming County. Thank you for joining us. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Animal Friends of Wyoming County CHOW Podcast. This is episode 1 of season 2. So thank you for sticking with us through this endeavor. And if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. My name is Sam Goodell. I'm the president of Animal Friends of Wyoming County. And just to give you a little detail about what our group is, Animal Friends of Wyoming County is a 501c3 nonprofit organization in Wyoming County, New York, where our goal and mission is to sponsor the dogs at the Wyoming County Animal Shelter for medical needs and to help them get better homes. Also, we have an education initiative with our group, which is what you're listening to right here. The CHOW Podcast is part of our CHOW Project, where we have newsletters and podcasts, obviously, and the education videos you can find on our Rumble or YouTube pages. So check us out there if you haven't seen them yet. Before we get into the topic at hand today, which I'm very excited to announce who our guest is. She's a personal friend of mine, and I've known her for a long time. So this is very exciting for the first guest of our second season. I want to introduce our co-host real quick, so you know who you're listening to here. So first we have Mr. Tom Purcell. He has a business called That Damn Dog. And he's also written a book called The Art of the Dog, and he's got a podcast himself, and he's also Animal Friends Program Director. So how you doing today, Tom?
Wow, I never realized I was so busy. Program Director. Yes, I do want to mention that I spearheaded the Pets for Vets program with Wyoming County. Our Animal Friends of Wyoming County put this little program together. And if you are a vet out there and you are maybe contemplating getting a pet of your own, but get a little discouraged by what you have to go through or the cost or anything, come and see us. Come and talk to us, because we'll, one, help you find the perfect pet, and two, is probably help you with the cost.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you for plugging that in, because that is a very big program for our group. And also our Spay Our Stray Program is a big program for our group too, that funds all the medical needs for the dogs at the animal shelter. So if you find that you have the flexibility in your wallet, please donate to us today, because that really does help out in the long run. My other co-host sitting right next to me is our members director, Miss Lisa Reynolds. How you doing today, Lisa?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Anything fun or exciting going on? Or
I think Lisa's always fun and exciting, because she's the one that's going to get you to join our group and be a volunteer with our group and be a member of the Wyoming
come on
County.
down and volunteer.
Yes, that's very important. That's very important.
Get a hold of Lisa.
Awesome. And so I'm just going to give a very brief introduction, because I want our guests to introduce themselves in their own words. But this lady is amazing. She has been part of my life for my life. She is a big reason why Animal Friends is what it is today. And I don't think a lot of people know that. And a big reason why the shelter is what it is today. And that is an accomplishment in and of itself. So without further ado, Miss Bridget Mertsock, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What your passions are? What you do?
Well, originally I am from Wellsville, New York, but I live now in Castile, New York, and have since 1996. I work at Letchworth School. I have been in the education field now for almost 30 years, mostly worked with children with special needs. I am also working now at Perry Vet. I've been there for almost 5 years now, which I love. Have 2 children. I have a daughter, Julia, who is 23, and I have a son, Johnny, who is 19. And I love both my jobs, both very passionate about children and animals, and that is what brought me to the shelter 15 years ago when my son went to preschool. And I stopped on my way back from a dentist appointment and never looked back. I met a lot of great people here. So, yeah, it was definitely one of the best choices of my life coming here.
Well, that's great because it's really not only your presence here, but the initiative and the drive that you took when you started coming here to get more people to volunteer and make people aware of your local animal shelter. That is a big, big deal. And we're still seeing the impacts of that today with Animal Friends of Wyoming County. So,
yeah, if I can give you my memory of Bridget. She was here a little longer than I was, but talk about influence. You know, every good concept and every successful mission kind of starts with an idea. And Bridget came up with the coolest idea one time when we had a dog that needed help. And she said, how about a spaghetti dinner? What the heck is she talking about? She said, let's have a spaghetti dinner and then we can raise enough money to maybe help this animal out. Well, that grew into what you know today is the 501c3 Animal Friends of Wyoming County. Just from that, let's have a spaghetti dinner.
mm-hmm.
And what a concept, but it was just an idea and it really grew into something magnificent. Because I tell you, folks, if you're not aware of your Wyoming County animal friends and the kind of help that we've given to our animal friends of Wyoming County, our animals of Wyoming County, it's amazing. And the benefits that we have and the Pets for Vets type programs, it's almost a miracle what we've been able to pull off.
It is.
Not even mention like a little dog named Jack who's got to go in for special surgeries because he was really in trouble. He came to his owner with Lyme disease, a blind spot in his left eye, and hip dysplasia of both hips, and he didn't have a bright future except for Wyoming County, the animal friends and people like Bridget who started this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're on, Bridget.
Yeah.
Well, it was probably the best decision I ever made was coming here. And I was very blessed to have a lot of family and friends who supported me, and Justin, Sam, and of course Tom, and I had a great bunch of girls that worked. Jen, Lisa, Maggie, Verna, all my old first starter volunteers, and we all work for the same mission to find great homes for the dogs that entered into the shelter and to make sure when they were here, they were loved and cared for until we could find them a home. And I think we were pretty successful.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it amazing that you walked into this animal shelter and the first person you met was Jessica Goodell?
Absolutely.
And said, you want some help? Can I volunteer?
Yeah.
And she just kind of looked at us like, yeah, okay.
Yep.
We're still here.
It
What,
was
15 years later?
15 years later.
13 years later for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't shake us.
You can't shake us. I think we're stuck here.
I was too young to know at the time what it was like being a volunteer at the shelter during those days. So take us back a little bit with when you first started here. And was there a volunteer group at all? How many of people were there before you came on board?
Well, I know when I stopped here, when I came in, and a little girl, Maggie Lee, who happened to be my neighbor, was here answering phones. So she was down here volunteering her time, and she pretty much there was not a volunteer group at that time that was established here. Of course, there were volunteers that came and walked the dogs and stuff, but nothing major. And so then it was just trying to decide what it is I wanted to do here, and finding the right group of people with the same passion.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. Mm-hmm. And we are lucky to have Jessica Goodell, who heads the shelter, because it wasn't like this before she took it over. And I'm sure many dogs were saved because she decided that this was her passion. And her own family was down here. Husband Fred, you Sam, and the girls were Annie and Morgan were here, and it just took off. And when you start volunteering in a place like this, you meet the best people possible. People with great hearts that have one sole purpose, and that's to find animals a forever home. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made was coming here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing to think back how long ago it was now, because it's for me, I'm like, oh, this was just like a couple years ago. But when I take a look at the calendar, I'm like, wow, this was 15 years ago. What was I 15 years ago? What was everyone's 15 years ago?
Right.
All the different volunteers have come in and out of the shelter, the people that have joined Animal Friends, have left Animal Friends, and the people that were here before Animal Friends, I still think of them fondly and often because it was because of their effort and their ambition, their passion for the dogs here at the shelter that came in no matter what their circumstances were. They just wanted them loved and have a good home. And a lot of that had to do with your leadership during that time too. So that was a big deal.
Well, what you did, Bridget, when you think about it, not only did you start this incredible organization or start this incredible group of people, but other counties have modeled themselves after this, and this is awesome. And you did, kiddo. So good for you.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad that it did take off the way it is, and I feel working at the school also was a huge benefit for me, and all my friends at the school know that if you need an animal, come to me. I'll find you the perfect dog. And I did. Yeah, it was, and I thank them. I have had a lot of support still from there, that they still are involved with the shelter. Some of the children I've worked with and special needs kids, this really became huge for me, having them come here. And because sometimes it gives them purpose, and you see the joy on their faces as when they come here and a dog wants to be near them, and it just is, kind of bringing the best of my world together here at the shelter, animals and children. It's like the best.
Yeah. I mean, well, Lisa, you've also volunteered here a little bit too, and brought your grandkids I've seen come down here. How's your experience been when you volunteer and walk a dog? And
Well, it's good for kids just to see the dogs and what brought them to the shelter. And they enjoy just coming and looking at all the dogs that are out there and taking them for walks.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's just the littlest, simplest things that make the world difference for these dogs. Brushing them, taking them out to the play pen and play area, I should say.
And just tell your grandkids that, well, you're volunteering, you're helping, and volunteering helps. It teaches, brings out the good in kids, and that they're helping.
I feel like it gives them a sense of showing compassion and empathy for a mistreated animal, and it follows them through as they grow older. I know both my daughter just adopted her first kitty, and both of my children have great compassion and empathy for animals, and they spent a lot of time with me here, and I feel like that reflects in who they are today. People need, it should be more volunteering, because there's a lot of people don't get and understand just coming down one day or week or 1 hour makes a huge difference for an animal. And
the volunteer.
It's going to
make them feel so good when they do something other than win their video game.
Yeah.
get out of the house and go volunteer somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
What greater place to volunteer than with other animals?
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord, what a great
And
concept, you know.
and also colleges look at that. What have you volunteered at?
Yeah.
That's a question.
Right. Volunteering is a great thing.
That's a
It
good
is.
point.
It's something I've taught my grandkids, and I know we both volunteer, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, there is definitely a fulfillment in coming down here. And I basically have been born and raised here. So for a while, I feel like I didn't have a choice. But as I got older and I got into high school and I was becoming a little bit more of myself and finding out who I am and what I want to do, I always personally gravitated towards coming down to the shelter, even independently. So I do feel like working with animals in every aspect. I work at a vet clinic too now. So working with animals is definitely a calling of mine. And it's great to have people around you that encourage you and that edify and lift you up and inspire you to do something bigger in the world. And people like Bridget Mertsock were those people for me.
Oh,
So
thanks, Sam.
that's
Well, and I say, you and your mom and Tom, you're all like a big part of my life, my family. You know, it just is. I can't even imagine never not knowing all of you. So it's like, you know, sometimes you feel like you're brought to a place for a reason, a purpose, and you meet the people in your life that you're meant to meet. And I met all of you, and you're still a part of my life. So that's
Well,
huge.
good. Be very proud of yourself because you brought the spirit of volunteering to the Wyoming County Animal Shelter.
you did.
I'm
You
glad.
did.
I'm glad I
And
did
when
that.
you come here, you're very welcome. Like, you know, everyone's glad to see you.
Yeah.
Get you to work
Yep,
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
in a fun way. And
it is. It's a great environment.
Yes.
Yep, always.
Always something to do down here.
There is.
And yeah, so from volunteering, back when you first started, when did it occur to you that we need to, like, there was a hole that needed to be filled at the animal shelter here that you think creating a group would have helped or would have filled it?
Well, at that point, when I came, and of course I love animals, so walking around, I'm like, well, you know, it would be a good, maybe trying to spay and neuter, microchip, helping people do that might get them out of here faster. And
So a spaghetti dinner.
spaghetti dinner,
A yard sale.
yard sales,
Oh, yes.
Chinese auctions. Yeah, we had
That first spaghetti dinner, we had T-shirts made, tie-dye T-shirts.
We had a band. We got a band.
A girl by the name of Lydia Wolcott, I still remember her, created that first logo, the dog.
Yep.
That was so cute. I have it somewhere on my computer. I have no idea, but
I still have my shirts. Yep,
Yeah,
I still
yep.
have the lime green and the turquoise blue ones.
yep. Lisa Rennig, Jen Wright,
Verna Brooks.
Verna Brooks, yes. Jill and Deborah Kelly, they
Yep.
were big.
And Brooke, her daughter
Brooke,
Brooke,
yes,
was
I
in there.
remember
Maggie
Brooke.
Lee.
Yep,
Yep,
Maggie Lee,
my
Autumn,
kids,
Autumn
yep.
Maxwell, I think it was, Rachel Keene.
Yep.
Those are just some names to throw out there that they made big impacts at the animal shelter
Did.
here.
And I asked them whatever I needed them to do. They were always willing to do it. And we worked really hard. At those fundraisers, but it was all worth it. I mean, now I see like the play area out there is great. And at that point, we were trying to get our outside fencing and our outside kennels.
Yeah, that's right.
And
We
the
didn't have
kennel out
that.
front. So we could display a dog out there that we needed to find a home for. We painted in here and kind of made it more of a home space. And it just was, it was nice. It was great to come here and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever come into the animal shelter, when you first walk in, there's the countertop on your left side, and right underneath it is, I'm trying to remember what it says, of course, on the top of my head. I go by it every day, of course. But Bridget, I remember looking out and seeing her put on that sketch,
Yeah.
and it fit perfectly. And so it's a great reminder every time I'm here that Bridget did that, and that's still here, and that's still looking good, you know.
Good. I'm glad I left a mark on the shelter because I may be back someday, right? For a little bit more than I am.
We'll count on it.
Yes.
Yeah, the first spaghetti dinner that proved to be a success. We raised a lot of money that day.
We did. It was a
with
lot
Chinese
of money.
auction, and yeah,
People came out.
And we also learned, from incidents here. We had the famous Chihuahua incident, and we rescued 44 Chihuahuas, let's say 43 Chihuahuas. And we wound up raising a boatload of money
Yeah, it was great.
from people with good hearts. And we learned, just because, we learn as we go, that there are good people out there. There's a lot of good people out there. And we're trying to get to you now, to you people who really want to do something positive. Come and join us. Come and see Lisa. Become a member. Become a volunteer. It's the greatest thing you can do. And you can also be part of these monster incidents that do happen, like the time we had 15 dogs left in the middle of a road in Wyoming County. That was just a puppy mill that went bad from Pennsylvania. But we wound up in a big involved rescue with that thing. And I believe it was 6 puppies, 7 yearlings, and 2 older dogs that were rescued there. And by the way, just so you know, everybody wound up with a very happy home. That was a great story, great incident. But that's what you want to be involved with, is great rescues like that, and great incidents that do happen here. Don't miss out. Come and join us. Be a volunteer.
yeah. I tell you what, it was definitely God's timing to have you come at the shelter when you did, because when my mom got that phone call on her birthday, I believe it was, oh gosh, I'm not going to get the date right on the top of my head. What was it, 2012? I want to say, when the 44 Chihuahuas, 43 Chihuahuas, that case.
Yeah.
She went that very night and she said, we need to do something about this. And she got the police involved, and she called up Bridget, and Bridget organized all of our group to go up. It was Tom, there was myself, Miss Bridget, there was,
Right?
my brother Isaiah, Lisa.
Lisa.
Jen, Jill, Kelly stayed here at the shelter getting prepared because we knew what was coming, even though we didn't expect it. Like, we knew something was going to happen, but we just didn't know the magnitude of it.
Right.
Talk about divine intervention.
Wow.
We got through that whole day until we got bit.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
It was a
right?
crazy day.
It was. We all went up there. I remember walking up the driveway, going past the car and past
The woods.
In the woods.
Yep. The guy's house, and go out to the back porch and seeing the horrific scene that I would have thought we were in a documentary of something that we wanted to change the channel.
Bad Stephen King movie.
That's
Yes.
it, right? That's
It
what
was.
it was.
It
That's
was,
what reminded me.
heartbreaking. And we were the rescue crew that
Yep.
morning.
It was a lot, and it just happened to fall right before the fundraiser here at the shelter
Mm-hmm.
and the garage sale fundraiser.
Yeah.
And people came in here, and the donations were flowing. I think it was Channel 7 News came from Buffalo. And, but we were able to adopt out every dog,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's a lot of dogs.
a lot of dogs. And people came out from everywhere to help groom
Mm-hmm.
and
yes.
get them ready. They came here and they were just volunteered their time to help out. And, in this world today, being a part of something like that is amazing, because there are good people, and sometimes we get focused on the bad in the world.
Mhm.
But I can honestly say that you are not going to see bad people who volunteer at a shelter. They're great people with great hearts and with one mission.
Mm-hmm.
So what a great gift you're going to give your children and your grandchildren, is teach them how to volunteer.
Yeah.
teach them how to volunteer in any type of place. But this working with animals is the most fun I can
It's
offer.
so rewarding.
It is.
It is fun. And again, it'll get them off those video games.
That's it.
You know, these
More to
dogs
life,
are alive.
right?
They're for real.
Yeah, right?
So we did 3 or 4, I think 3 big fundraisers,
Yep.
maybe 3 or 4. We sprinkled it out around. Then there was a time that you had to leave, and it was kind of devastating for us here, but it was because of what you had put into the shelter here that we were able to move forward and continue onward. And then I'm throwing all this history in like one or 2 sentences the best I can. It was very shortly thereafter. I believe you left in 2014, late 2014, early 2015, and Animal Friends was formed on December 2015.
Yep.
With that same exact mission, just a different roster of people.
Yep.
And we never really let you leave.
No.
No.
This is
No.
like the Hotel California.
It's,
You can check out
it's the
anytime
revolving.
you
That's
want,
right.
but you can never leave.
Yeah, you'll probably never get rid of me completely.
And that's good. We need that. And then how long was it after that you became a board member?
Yeah, I came back for a board member not too long, but
Yeah.
when after I started working a second job at the Perry Vet Clinic with Sam, it just a lot of hours, and so I wasn't able to really give my volunteer time. Although the best thing is I get to see every dog that gets spayed and neutered.
Yes. Yes.
In this clinic, so I'm able to work. I am able to work with those animals and give my opinion and see how great they really are. Actually, I could take some of them home myself.
I think that's a very good point. You never in a way stopped volunteering.
No.
So even though, and I want people to know that things come up. How I always view our life is we have our family first and foremost. We always take care of our family no matter what. Then the second thing in our life is our jobs, because we need to make a living, need to thrive in where we live and make ends meet. And then the third life is volunteering. And so if you start volunteering and then it's heart-wrenching to give it up for a time, it's okay, because Bridget is great testimony right there that you can always jump back into it whenever the time is right in your life. You know, it's never gone. It's never just a faded memory. It's still right there waiting for you when you're ready.
And it stays with you. It doesn't matter how much you put into it. When you come here, you're not going to leave here without feeling good about yourself. And you've done something for an animal, your community. It's never wasted. And it's always appreciated here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then in a way, even though Bridget wasn't here physically at the Wyoming County Animal Shelter, she still saw every dog that came through. She still cared for them. She still took them for walks. It just might not have been at the same place as other people were, but your volunteering life never really ended.
It doesn't ever end. I'm always looking at what they have here and trying to persuade a friend, family member, or just, putting it on my Facebook page, just trying to find a home. And because you never know, can reach a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so I remember when I told you about the group, and I'm like, this is kind of what you started a little bit here. Whenever you want to come back, let me know, and you did, and you came in, you became our members director at that time.
Yep.
We had a little arranging in the way the position needed to be filled, and so the members director that we had before, she was promoted to vice president, and we're like, we need someone who can gather members and volunteers, and we were thinking, who can we reach out to in this community of ours that we know of that's great with that? And I'm like, Bridget Mertsock. She started the volunteers at the shelter. She knows how to get people in. And it's a good thing, because everyone that's come to the shelter, as you said, have had a very enriching time with the dogs at the shelter.
You're never going to regret coming here. Never going to regret volunteering here. It's probably best thing you can do.
Yeah, so you were our members director, and then life got chaotic, as it does with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes, like I said, volunteer life is our third life, so you have to put it on pause for a little bit. And I've always said it from the very beginning, you're always welcome back anytime in any capacity that you want to come down and do anything or even help us with a fundraiser.
Yeah.
That's great. And just having you here today is a big deal.
Well, it's like being back at another home
Yeah.
for me.
You've
wa-
always been a great influence.
Yeah.
You still are. So thank you for coming.
Well, you're
today.
welcome, and I love being back here. Lot of great memories.
And it was nice to meet you.
Yes,
because we've
you
heard
too.
always about you
Well, it's nice to meet
when
you
we have our
too.
meetings.
Bridget is a legend here at the animal shelter and a living legend.
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate that.
So I think, is there anything else you want to add to volunteering or your life here?
Well, I just want to say that if you do have the time to come down here, you'll never regret coming here. You're going to meet some fabulous people here, some fabulous dogs who just need a little bit of your time.
Mhm.
And whether you can give financial help, because the money is never wasted.
Mhm.
This group does fabulous things, surgeries, just our Pets for Vets program. We just want to find dogs great homes.
Yeah.
And you want to feel good about yourself? This is a great place to start right here. It's going to show you how to be compassionate and have empathy, which I think today we
And
need to
you're
find
gonna
that.
feel a ton of
Yeah.
love from these puppies.
Absolutely.
We had
Absolutely.
one question from our members. Cheryl from Perry wanted to know, in your expert opinion, how young is the right age for children to volunteer when they can comprehend animal ownership?
I'm going to say, well, for my own personal experience here, of course, my daughter, Julia, was 8 years old when I started here. And my son, Johnny, was 4. Of course, I did bring him down here, and they did love coming here. And her friend Maggie was also 8 years old. So I don't really feel like there's never a bad age to expose your children to volunteering. I just think at certain ages, well, it's great to introduce at any age, really,
Mhm.
coming here and just seeing this.
Yeah.
It's a great experience, and it really will go through your children, and they'll take it with them.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a big deal, especially at that age, like
Yeah,
even
it
Johnny's age at
is.
4 years old.
Right.
Like, do you see everything in life? You see the best, you see the worst, and it gives you that realistic picture of what life will have. Not every dog has a successful adoption.
No.
Not every dog comes from a great place. Some go to a better place. It's volunteering here has its ups and downs,
It does.
but it's all for the enrichment of your life.
Yeah, and it's great if you're a parent and you want your child to come down here, come with them. Because the one thing for me was seeing my children, how they were as volunteers and how much they wanted to help and be here and love the animals that were here and just dig right in, right? They wanted to be a part of this. And it was great for me
Mhm.
having my children here. It really was. And really my entire family involved
Mhm.
with this. It was
Yeah.
great. It was really great.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much for doing what you've done here at the shelter and leaving this legacy for animal friends to take this baton and keep passing it forward. And for all these dogs here that wouldn't have the chance and the opportunities that they have if it wasn't for people like you and other volunteers like that come and start something up. So wherever you are listening to this podcast, even if you're not in Wyoming County, New York, I encourage you to go to your local animal shelter. I encourage you to go and volunteer, take your kids and your family and just see what it is out there. Don't get discouraged by the bad, because with every bad thing, there's always one or two good people to come and help fix everything.
There's a lot of great people in this world.
Yeah, but you could be one of them too, and you just don't know it, you know?
Yep, you're right. It might be the best, like I said here. I found another home coming here that day. And was one of the best things I ever did.
Yeah. So if we could leave you with anything today to listen or to take away from this message from our guest here, is to volunteer.
Yeah, volunteer.
In any way you can. If you can't be here physically, you could donate financially. You could share us on Facebook and social media. Any way that helps these dogs get a forever home, gets their medical needs done, and helps education, stuff like what we're doing right here. All of this helps.
And there's one other thing I'm going to say is adopt, don't shop, because there's plenty of great animals right here at this shelter and any shelter in your community. They really need a good home. And, that's where to go. It's where to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you for kicking off season 2 of our CHOW podcast with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys all for coming down here. This is great. Thank you for listening. Please go to our website, www.animalfriendsofwyco.com, where you could become a member. You could see a little bit about our group and organization, what we do, and stream this podcast episode wherever you like to stream. We're on everything. And follow us on all social media platforms. And please donate, because that goes a long way to fulfill our mission here. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the CHOW Podcast, hosted by Animal Friends of Wyoming County. To learn more about us, visit our website at www.animalfriendsofwyco.com. And if you're interested in adopting a dog, please call the Wyoming County Animal Shelter at 585-786-8938. This has been a production of Knox Luna Films, LLC.